I can't enjoy anything anymore without feeling like I'm falling behind. And I feel like there's a lot of reasons why people would relate to this message in this video. And the idea of feeling guilty for having fun and feeling guilty for having vices, I feel like it's a really toxic thing that's come out of just social media, I guess, in the last few years. We've had the whole hustle culture, the whole work harder, fuck your feelings kind of vibe. And I really feel like it's spread a message that is of course helpful in a lot of ways, and a lot of my channel relates to that. I do believe you should work hard, and I do believe you should chase your dreams and be disciplined. But the guilt aspect is something that's really interesting, that's not talked about as much. When you get onto a path of self-betterment and self-improvement and wanting to get better in your life, you start to feel that voice in the back of your head that says, maybe you should be working. Maybe you shouldn't be enjoying this hour playing a video game or watching a movie or watching a show. And I feel like all of us do it. All of us have our vices. All of us have our guilty pleasures. But when you really get exposed to that harsh messaging of if you're not working, you're falling behind and someone else is working harder than you and they're going to get your dream, you're not. I feel like it affects your mental health in a worse way, where you're beating yourself up for things that you really shouldn't be. And it will actually worsen your performance. I've noticed that in my life. When I go down these feelings of guilt for doing a bad habit, say, I tend to actually tell myself a worse story of what I'm doing and feel guilty, which leads to a downward spiral of me just indulging in my bad habits even more, indulging my vices even more than I was if I just was normal about it and wasn't so autistic, I guess. Maybe it's just me, but I hope someone who watches this can relate, that when you're on this path of discipline and working hard, why does the guilt spiral into something worse than it was before? You relapse and it becomes something that's way worse than if you just had a healthier mental image of it. And the thing is, I think guilt is just an incredibly unproductive feeling and emotion. When I don't go to the gym, I feel guilty, but for some reason it does not motivate me to go to the gym. And I've really noticed that because I've missed a lot of days recently. And I felt guilty about it, but I don't do anything. But instead, when I have positive emotions and positive feelings about working out, I will actually just go and work out. If I tell myself that, oh, it's going to be fun afterwards, or you're going to get some fresh air, or you're going to get a pump and you're going to look big, or positive visualizations of doing a hard thing, I'm way more likely to do it than from a negative angle of feeling guilty and telling myself bad things about myself. Because when I tend to do that, I actually just don't make any progress at all. And this video's a weird one, it's a short one. I just wanted to see if people relate to that feeling of guilt, of how do we balance this emotion of still wanting to do your vices. I think it's normal, I think it's healthy just to enjoy yourself and do things that you want to do just for your own pleasure. But I think if we had a healthier way of framing it in our heads, you won't go down those downward spirals where you just feel like you need to indulge in all your bad habits at once. Because, I don't know, it's a weird feeling. It's like you miss your discipline streak and you just all of a sudden just want to never be disciplined again. Whereas when I talk to myself out of a positive mindset, I'm a lot more disciplined and I'm a lot more willing to stick to it. I just find it interesting. It was just a small little video on this topic. I want to see if you guys can relate, and if you can, leave a comment and share your experience on how you feel about that, because it'd be really interesting to know. But that's all. Thanks.